which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. We've been in closed session and need a motion to go into open session. Yeah, we need a motion to go into open session, please.
Move to go into open session.
Second.
Roll call vote, please, Ms. Robinson?
Mrs. Holler,
Yes.
Mrs. Corley,
Yes.
Ms. Payne,
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Pastor Miller,
Yes.
Ms. Schrader.
Yes. Thank you. Motion carries 5-0. The next is the agenda and the consent agenda. And we're going to entertain a motion to approve both with the following changes. Thank you. We are going to be reconvening and going into closed session to discuss discipline. We will discuss nothing other than that. And so that will be removed. And also item number, where are we here? I'm looking. So, excuse me. Oh, thank you. Item number 8A, we are amending this from a dismissal for reasons other than a reduction in force to suspension without pay for the rest of the semester. We'll take up that full item when we get to item 8A. So if I can have a motion to approve the agenda and the consent agenda as amended.
Make a motion to approve. Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Ms. Payne,
Yes.
Mrs. Corley,
Yes.
Pastor Miller,
Yes.
Mrs. Holler,
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader.
Yes. Motion carries 5-0. Moving on to public comments. Do we have any public comments? This will be quick then, won't it? Next, curriculum.
Thank you. Okay. There we are. Good evening, Board of Education. Dr. Gaddis, I'm Mitzi Campbell, the principal of Kenneth C. Bailey Academy. I have an amazing crew with me this evening, both from KDBA and the University of Illinois. We're very excited to share with you the YPAR program that has been in place for a few years now. And I'm going to let Ms. Schnapel, our amazing high school teacher, lead the way. And Armani Eaton, a senior at KDBA, she's going to assist with presentation.
Hi, I'm Libby Schnapel, as introduced. This is Armani Eaton, student Krista Sims. We have Minda Tracy back there from 4-H with the phone. That is Amy Lehman next to her. And behind her, Jacinda Dariotis. They are you're both professors from the University of Illinois that brought this program to us. If you haven't gotten familiar with all the acronyms in education, we have another one for you. It's called YPAR, and it stands for Youth Participatory Action and Research. Thank you. Click. It might appear with the onset of this program that we're trying to turn our teenagers into robots just to send our messages, but what we're really trying to do is increase the level of communication between our young people and the people in our community that hold the power to bring the change that they think we need in our local school and community. This is just a couple pictures of our young ladies that participated in this last year's program. The first one is a picture of them in Washington, D.C., a place I've never been to yet. And the other picture is from the undergraduate symposium that we presented at the University of Illinois, strengthening their positive development and partnerships with other people throughout the community.
And also to add in there, we was the only high schoolers at the symposium.
Out of all those presentations. Thank you. So they would like to share with you why they are happy to be involved in the YPAR program.
Okay. I'm happy to be in the YPAR program because it not only boosts up my critical thinking, my responsibility level, and self-confidence, but it also helped me connect with other communities that is not my community. And
I'm happy to be a part of YFAR because I've been able to do stuff that I never thought I would be able to, thanks to YFAR, and I absolutely have had boosted confidence. Because without YFAR, I would not be standing here in front of everyone right now.
I was behind her just in case she fainted, and they're behind me in case I faint. We have a buddy system there at KDBA. One of it's not just a program for the kids. It's also to help the youth or the adults build a better connection with our people. As the teacher, daily participating in all the activities, I'm like, oh yeah, they're doing better than I thought they did. But then when we got to the symposium and we walked through that hall surrounded by graduate students, I didn't realize we would be the only high school group there. And when I just kind of, like I did earlier, I stepped back and put them in control. And I was texting my colleagues the whole time and sending pictures. I was so proud of them. They exceeded my expectations. I'm very happy teacher moment. The aha moments still continue, even right now in this moment. For our visual learners, this is just to take a look at the the first interview that we gave, which was a comfortable one with Mrs. Campbell. And then we can look at our sixth interview, how we really built on our level of questioning and building follow-up questions and getting to the more important points. This is just a quick visual of what the project is. It involves KDBA students gathering research with members of the community to try to get solutions, bringing the youth into the mix and hoping that we can propose something for the better. It all started, as I was having one of those shower moments, I wanted to also point out the lovely and talented Mrs. Scovrin started working with Master Gardeners in the U of I Extension program many years ago, and it snowballed into the high school getting involved, and it wound up with Minda Tracy back there, the one with the video camera. She recruited me to do this pilot program with the University of Illinois, and I was a little nervous, I'm not going to lie. We had 8 students participate last year. This year we're up to 12 and counting. The University of Illinois people come twice a week and teach the lessons along with myself and Miss Laffler. She's back there in the audience for moral support. Co-teaching it this year. And we also want to make sure it's not just another acronym. We aren't replacing any acronyms. It's all AVID, it's all Wicker. The students formulated, they collaborated and came up with their own rules to the program, and we go through gads and gads and gads of Post-it notes. We've already gone through a whole pad of chart paper this year. These are the 2 questions that we focused on. These are formulated by the students last year. They've wanted to focus on crime and poverty in our area. That's the process we went through. We brainstormed questions. We brainstormed people we should interview. We made contacts with those people in the community. We called some people. We practiced our telephone skills. We practiced our interviewing skills, taking turns interviewing our guests. We made more follow-up questions and adapted them to who our speaker was. We conducted 6 initial interviews before our presentation, but we actually had 3 or 4 more after that. This is the poster that they created, but it's kind of small. But hey, if you want a close-up view, just come to the new KDBA building because it is going to be framed and hung in the hallway. So yeah, you can't really read any of that. But it was a lot of work, trust me. Just making the poster was a lot of work. So we presented the poster. We Didn't get a whole lot further after that because we ran out of time, but we're pacing much better. We're teaching double block English this year, so we have extra time for those interviews. And the pictures up above are the actual brainstorming topics for this year's project. We want to go a little bit further and actually analyze our data, figure out what we can change, and then present it to somebody to follow through with it. These are just a list of the lessons that are learned that you might not think about. And moving forward, I do want to point out that everything that we're doing is aligned to the state standards and Common Core. We're supplementing the curriculum in the public speaking class, college and career preparedness, the upper level English courses, and we hope in the future when KDBA expands to lower grade levels, we would like the older students to involve the younger students so that they're prepared when they if they enter KDBA high school to continue this program year after year after year. And some of the other partnerships that have been created from this involvement, we have the University of Illinois Environmental Science Research guru, expert, has chosen KDBA to do a research study on the environment, comparing urban areas and more rural areas, and we're going to be in the middle area that they study. So students will be able to earn a science credit for that, and then it's just continuing the relationship that we've already built with Douglas Discovery Gardens and the University of Illinois Master Gardeners. These ladies and some others last year and moving forward have been able to participate in the Illini Summer Academy, ISA, another acronym. If you know what College for Kids is at DAC, it's very similar to that, only it's the collegiate level. They go for a week, they eat there, they sleep there, and they get ready for college level.
Amazing food.
Food is so good. And our other reality check from 4-H was brought to KDBA, and we have other plans going forward. So we appreciate the support. Does anybody have any questions?
I do. Did I hear this right, that this is kind of like a pilot that UI is doing for other potential high schools throughout the state?
Last year was the first year, and you did it with 2 other schools? Just us?
Yes, yours was the most long-term.
Okay. And from what I've heard, they like us the most. And so this year, yes, new topic. Oh, our topic this year?
Mental health and
Public housing.
How many students are in this program?
This year we have 12.
With the possibility to expand.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're hoping that in the future it expands to all the grade levels, 5 through 8.
I love your enthusiasm.
Thank you.
You could tell you were so proud of the students. It
imagine
comes through.
spending 8 hours with her.
You're lucky.
That's great.
You have made us very proud.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
Love that.
That was. What's that teacher's name?
Libby. Okay, moving on to item number 7. That's going to be hard to beat. Policies, press policy 115 and 116 updates. First reading. Is that? It's Dr.
Illinois
Kittis.
Association of. Are you guys doing?
Am I on the wrong?
Mrs. Button, you're disrupting our meeting. Item 7, press policies.
So this is the first reading of Illinois Association of School Boards, the press program that we subscribe to. They have updates. It specifically focuses on policy 480. And for accounting and audits, they are going to update the references and footnotes. The policy is updated by raising the maximum balance for revolving fund bank accounts. And footnotes are updated to reflect that all districts that receive federal and state grant awards have an annual annual audit of their financial statements, to which we already do. Policy 5180, which talks about temporary illness or temporary incapacity. The language of our policy is in the bargaining agreement, and so we are recommending that we keep our current policy. 5200, which is termination and conditions of employment and dismissal. Our current policy is completely different from press. The language of our policy is in the bargaining agreement, so we recommend keeping our policy, but this is for a first read, so we provided the entire policy for you to review.
Can I ask how different the press policy is from our language in 5180 and 5200? Is it vastly different or just
You want to review those?
temporary
Oh, you
illness,
mentioned
temporary
those.
capacity, terms and conditions of employment?
So I actually need to go through the two of them because I need to also examine, and we have two other collective bargaining agreements, not just the DEA. We have the one for food service and we have the one for custodians. So I actually need our attorneys to compare all three of them.
And then before we vote, they'll let
Oh,
us know.
absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
There are a couple others. There is the change in policy 2260 for the uniform grievance policy. They have made some changes to legal references, updated the footnotes, and in response to the new regulations that we've received for Title IX. Then, of course, there is the Title IX grievance procedure, which has been updated by the state government, and a staff development program in 5100. Policy footnotes are updated, which go into with our one-to-one technology program, and so we have to make those changes. Yep, and then some more with staff development based on Title IX. Thank you.
Just for and this is first reading, so we're not taking any action, but just for the community's benefit, Press is actually an organization that keeps us updated on all of the changes in the laws and how our policies and the recommended policies need to make shifts in order to stay compliant. And so as those come in, we need to review and review against our own policies. So it's a constant, it's just a constant turning thing as we get new policies and new changes because our state changes things for us all the time. So thank you, Dr. Geddes. Moving on to item 8, 8A. This is we're looking for a motion to, let me see if I'm going to make sure I get this exactly right. To suspend without pay for the rest of the semester educational support and personnel employee Jolie Norman, effective immediately.
So moved.
Second.
We need a roll call, please.
Mrs. Corbin,
Yes.
Pastor Miller,
Yes.
Mrs. Holler,
Yes.
Ms. Payne,
Yes.
Mrs. Strickler.
Yes. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. And then item 8B1. Safety Systems Specialist. Say that 3 times fast, right?
Good evening, Board. Dr. Geddes, Seth Oldfield, Director of Operations. I'm standing in for Human Resources tonight with the recommendation that you approve 3 job descriptions. The first one is Safety Systems Specialist. The second is Operations Secretary. And the third is Food Service Warehouse Manager.
Would you like to deal with these one at a time or all 3 together?
One at a
He's
time.
gonna say all three.
All 3 together.
One at a time.
One at a time.
Okay, we'll
One
do
at a
one at a
time.
time then. Thank you for your suggestion. One at a time. Do we have a
tried.
motion for item 8B1, Safety Systems Specialist?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have questions, comments?
So my understanding, this is the one for, because our safety and security systems have expanded and there is a requirement for someone to be able to, as a backup, right now we just have one person who controls all of it. And God forbid he is sick. We have no one to go to our cameras, to adjust our fobs, or to handle any of the security items that we have. It was totally our recommendation that we built in systems so that we have backup in the event that Seth wins the lotto. Please.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, roll call vote.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Mrs. Howard?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Corley?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes. Item passes 5-0. Moving on to operations secretary attachments. Operations secretary. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion that we approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there, are there any questions or comments?
So what we're saying with this one is, of all the directors, Seth is the only one who does not have an assistant to help him. He handles all of the fobs, he handles all of the security issues and concerns, and he manages all of the custodians, all without an assistant.
You have no secretary.
No. Well, I should say that Nancy Brown in Buildings and Grounds helps me out a lot, and I need to take that weight off of her.
That's not part of her job description? Because she has done that for,
There was a warehouse secretary position that was vacated and we didn't fill. And because it's really not a full-time position, but with these added duties, it does become a full-time position.
so she acquired those functions.
Yeah.
Noted.
So Nancy did, because Nancy is actually building ground secretary. We never, the warehouse secretary, we didn't fill. So we took that job, merged it with all of the new duties, because remember Seth was actually new. He wasn't original to the team. So all of his duties, or all of his assistant duties, we've merged into one and intend to use that position in this way.
So now in this era where safety is just a bigger conversation, the world we live in now, and we're looking at developing that scaffolding for the responsibilities that you have.
So we're not taking away Miss Brown's job.
No.
We're just taking stuff off her plate.
will be
I just want to
relieved.
clarify.
I
Okay.
am very grateful for what she's done so far, but it's a lot for one person, for
Okay.
sure.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Look at Seth, Skip giving us the evil eye.
Roll call vote, Mrs. Robinson, before we get in trouble with Skip.
Mrs. Howard?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Corley?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. And then item 8.3B, food service warehouse manager.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Go ahead and if you have any questions or comments, please.
So currently, we do have a warehouse manager that manages all of our supplies, books, textbooks, paper, etc. There isn't anyone to manage all of our food deliveries, all of the distribution of food. Mr. Truex's and then Skip Seth's team have been gracious enough to help with that, but that really needs to be a segregation of duties. The people and the truck, because you authorize us to hire trucks so that we can take the food off the truck with the supplies. So now someone needs to manage all of the food coming in, make sure the inventory is correct, make sure we are doing FIFO, first in, first out, and that we are completely compliant.
Any other questions or comments?
Just a question. So our food director, Miss Zeta, doesn't do that.
No.
So, okay.
It's a lot of logistics at the warehouse with the movement of food. This
Okay.
many needs to go here at this time, this date. It's a lot.
Got it. Okay.
Good questions. Anything else before we vote? All right, roll call vote. Ms. Robinson?
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Mrs. Corley?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Howard?
No.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes. Motion carries 4-1.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to business and finance, item 9A.
Thank you.
Ms. Rankin, do you want to introduce this item before we have our public hearing? Do you want to introduce this item before we have our public hearing?
Oh, yes. This is the fiscal year 24-25 budget presentation. I haven't done a presentation before, but I just wanted to give you guys like a little short. All right. Oh, I'm Narcissus Rankin, Director of Finance, Business and Finance. Okay, so first I wanted to talk about some of the expenditures that are included in my budget this year because, as you know, it is a deficit budget because we are covering items that has been approved by the board, but we're using basically our savings, right? So I wanted to talk about some of the things that we're wrapping up. The 1972 edition remodel should be wrapped up this fiscal year. And the balance on it is $436,891.24. About, just in case we have any, what are they called? Changes? What are those things called that they have? Change orders, yes. And then the DHS football field, bleacher, and press box. We are still paying bills on them, basically. So this fiscal year, the balance is $3,205,593.59. The D118 North Campus, this dollar amount is an estimate because right now I'm not sure where we're going with it, but I know we're doing something, so I set some money aside for it. And the Northeast Edition, which is being paid through ESSER funds, there's still a balance of $1,050,369. And then the KDBA edition, which is being paid for by ESSER funds, is a balance of $1,477,347. I also included the budget summary, which I had given you guys with the ISB budget forum a month ago. And I just wanted to point out the beginning fund balance for this fiscal year, which was the ending fund balance. This is pre-audit, so the auditor hasn't gone through and made adjustments. But it was $31,501,612. I am estimating revenue this fiscal year of $101,486,782, and expenditures of $106,042,475, with an estimated ending fund balance at the end of FY25 of $26,945,919. And I just wanted to address, which I have been addressing, per board policy. There is a policy on what the fund balance ratio should be. So with my projections for FY25, this is the fund balance ratio based off of my estimate. So it's at 26.55%, where policy says it can be no less than 15 to 20%. So I want to address that because I know that's important. And that was it for my quick presentation.
Okay, so we're now going to have a public hearing on the 2024-2025 Danville School District 118 budget. We will now open the public hearing regarding the Danville School District 118 budget for 2024-25. Are there any questions or comments on this budget?
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
Am I public?
You
Oh,
are
okay.
definitely questioner.
What is our deficit spending this year, for this fiscal year? What is the total deficit spending for this fiscal year?
FY25?
Yes.
What I'm estimating?
No. For this current year, this year we're in.
That is
This-
FY25.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You mean your
Last year.
prior FY24?
Yeah, prior, yes.
So that would be on our audit. We would have to put from audit.
Okay.
But
You just, yeah.
if I gave you a number, it would be pre-audit based off of what's in, but I would have to give you that number. I don't have it right now.
Okay, I guess my question is, are we in the ballpark with this budget as far as our deficit spending?
I believe so, yes.
Let me let me answer what I think you're asking. Last year, you had a projected deficit because we put a certain number of projects on the table.
Yes.
When your audit is complete, which probably won't be till February, that's when you'll have your verified numbers. I think you'll find that you came in under budget. Your deficit will be slightly smaller than you
Then
anticipated.
what? Okay, that's what I'm asking.
Going forward for this fiscal year, we believe if Skip doesn't come up with another project or I don't come up with another building for us to buy, we should be right on target. She did estimate that our rent is about 500,000, and she didn't know what we were going to do because we haven't come to a conclusion about what construction we're going to do with that building yet. So she used an estimate of 500. So outside of the Carl building, those numbers should be on point. Just don't, because we haven't decided where we're going with Carl.
So in that same screen, is that money budgeted for the outstanding costs for the football
Yes.
field and the
Yes,
north?
ma'am.
Well, except for the north building. Yeah, I
Well,
understand
it
that.
was an estimate for the north.
Okay, and then when you said the last two projects were funded by ESSER, the
Mhm.
outstanding balance, is that ESSER money there to pay the outstanding balance, or is that
So-
district?
Well, ESSER is reimbursable, but so we pay it and then we put the reimbursement in and they give us the money back. So
Okay.
that is, but it's allotted for us. Like, yes,
Okay.
they're gonna pay for it, not the district.
Thank you. Good questions. Any other questions? If there are no further questions or comments, I now declare this public hearing closed, and we will move on to action item 9B, the approval of the 2024-25 District 2018 budget. May I have a motion regarding this budget?
So moved.
And is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Ms. Payne? Yes. Mrs. Corley,
Yes.
Mrs. Howard,
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader.
Yes. Motion carries 5-0. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Mrs. Rankin. Moving on to operations. Recommendation to adopt a resolution authorizing and directing the sale or disposal of personal property in accordance with 105 ILCS 5:10-22.8.
It's a lot.
That's a lot. I think I got it right.
Seth Oldfield, Director of Operations again. And I recommend the adoption of the resolution authorizing and directing the sale or disposal of personal property in accordance with 105 ILCS 5/10-22.8, which is a lot of items at the warehouse that are damaged and not reasonably repairable. We would like to dispose of them or sell them if they're in a sellable condition. I think there was an attachment with the items. A lot of these might look familiar because many of them were on the 2021 list that we came to you with. And they're on the list again because we didn't have the time to get rid of everything. And so we thought it was best to come and ask for permission again.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Questions or comments regarding this item?
That's a lot of stuff.
It is.
That warehouse has so many things.
Yeah.
We had equipment from, it has to be when Lincoln walked the earth. But and so between Seth and Zeta, they've taken the time to go in and sort, and Mary Ellen Button, where is she? With her
back there.
textbooks. They have done a tremendous job. We could not get all of the items done last year. Remember, you guys authorized us to do $1 desk.
Yeah.
And so rather than just say, oh, well, we still had that permission, I said, nope, let's bring it all back to the table and ask again. Because there's some additional, new items like the 84 antique student desk and the 6 racks of event chairs that were mostly damaged, etc. So we just wanted to cover our bases and come back and ask for permission again.
Yeah, most of it looked like it was damaged or broken anyway, correct?
Yeah, the staff definitely gets every last drop of use out of the equipment. And then it goes to the warehouse. And then, people will ask if they can come shop the warehouse, which I'd be fine with, but they never take anything because it's in poor condition.
Got it.
And we can't simply dispose of it without a board resolution. Just purchase with public funds.
And this state statute here is the guiding the guiding rules or regulations for how we dispose of property.
Correct.
Got it. Any other questions or comments? Okie dokie, roll call vote. Mrs. Robinson?
Mrs. Fowler?
Yes.
Corley?
Yes.
Ms. Payne?
Yes.
Pastor Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Schrader?
Yes, motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Informational items. Are you going to combine this?
Yep. So, again, congratulations to our KDBA students and staff. We support you and your collaboration with the University of Illinois and with YPAR. Great job, guys. Join us Saturday for the Lady Vikings flag football team. The team is hosting a flag football jamboree. Did I get that correct? On Saturday, we'll host 8 teams, and the games begin at 10 a.m. Again, our condolences, because since we left, we've had the funerals, Mr. M and Holly White. I didn't know if that fell, how that fell. But over the homecoming weekend, we had a large group of classes who've come back. The class of 1994, the class of 2004, and the class of 2014. And we just appreciate them coming home and celebrating with us. That's it.
Okay, why don't we start with Ms. Payne and then come on down this direction.
I was at the Danville High School football game for a while Friday. Just got too hot. But I was really impressed with all the new additions. The bleachers, the big screen. I didn't have to guess at everything. All I had to do was look up. So I'm very happy for the positive changes. And like everything else, school is moving fast. I continue to bless the teachers, dealing with the students dealing with the teachers. I just hope everyone continues to be successful. Thank you.
I just, again, agree with Mrs. Payne about the beautiful football field and all of the additions there. I'd like to thank Skip and his whole crew for how hard they've worked to make that all happen. And again, just thanking God, for our district and all the hard work that we maybe sometimes take for granted with our administrators and our teachers and bus drivers and everybody that's a part of our district and the parents. So again, I'm praying that we'll continue to work hard like we always do in this district to be successful. So thank you.
The field is remarkable, and you look at the field and the big screen, but then when you put all the students out there, the players, the band, the cheerleaders, the pompettes, I was nearly brought to tears. It just was so awesome to see that and the enthusiasm. And and thank you to the high school staff. They worked so hard last week and all the events that happened after school and late into the evening, and they were there all the time, the whole administrative team. And I'm so proud of them for what they do at the high school. If you look at social media at all, many of those classes that came back had so many good things to say about how wonderful it was to come home. And we sure were able to show off what a great school we have. Not only the outside, but when they toured the inside, they were just as amazed. And so makes me proud, makes me very proud of our district. So thank you, Skip, for all your work, and thank you for all of the people who just worked so hard to make us look good.
Real quick, I went to the homecoming game too, and I had someone that was sitting with me said never been to one of our games, said it looked like a professional football game. Like they were so impressed. So just kudos to you guys. Thank you.
I just want to thank all the administrators that come to these board meetings. I mean, something that the community doesn't get to see, that the rows are always full. They're usually in the back rows, but the rows are always full, and they're always just our staff gives so much time and effort when it's just not, it's people don't notice, and we notice, and we appreciate you, and we thank you. KDBA, you are fabulous, and we're so proud of those kids that they just really made us proud. And They are exactly what, the state needs to be doing a pilot off of. We are very proud of everything that you're doing there. And I also want to thank our SROs for keeping us safe here, keeping our buildings safe. It's going to get me choked up. We really, really appreciate everything you do. It is not a small thing, and our staff appreciates you, this board appreciates you, the administration appreciates you. Thank you.
And Jason from the bus garage. he's
Oh,
here.
and
He's-
Jason from the
he's
bus
here
garage,
every meeting.
who's here every meeting, willing to take his lumps in case people are mad, but nobody's mad at you today, Jason. We appreciate you, and on behalf of even the students, you know, they're having their own lives, and their world is their world, and we are the team that wraps around them and creates that learning experience that is second to none. I'm proud to be District 118 ambassador, and I'm grateful to be part of your team as well. So with that, we're adjourned.
Into closed session, suspended into closed
Oh,
session.
thank you. Yes, we're not adjourned. Strike that. We are headed into closed session, and we are going to be discussing closed session items. We will take no open session.
We'll come back to do just.
Right, we won't do anything in closed session. We'll come back here to do discipline.